Fish on. He is fighting like crazy.
There we go. Better.
Buddy.
There you go. Beautiful fish.
He is fighting like crazy.
Nice. That's a good looking fish.
Woohoo! Nice fish,
Pull the
buddy.
drag, buddy.
Got one on up there?
Fish, boys.
Oh, it's a nice
size,
one.
yeah.
Nice.
The Fishin' Canada Show, brought to you in part by Yozuri Fishing Lures, fish the best. Mercury Outboards, go boldly. And Outdoor Canada, Canada's only national fishing and hunting magazine.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another jam-packed Fishing Canada episode. Today, we're going to strip away all of the myths and distractions associated with fishing and dive deep into the number one reason that angling can be such an effective way of catching fish.
For most of their lives, as far as we know, all fish species are built to do two basic things: eat and reproduce. And since most fish will reproduce or spawn only once a year, that means that eating ends up being the number one priority on their daily to-do list.
Can you imagine not having to wake up and go to school or work or do laundry or mow the lawn every day of your life? And all you have to do is just go to the grocery store or your favorite dining establishment and just eat, and eat. And when the time comes, make a few babies. Well, sign me up. In all seriousness, though, that's pretty much it for a fish's life. So, if we as anglers only had to concentrate on one aspect of fishing, it would be when, where, and what fish eat.
In shooting this year's Fishin' Canada episodes, time and time again, we ended up looking for the food that fish eat more than we did the actual fish. Once we found the food or bait, then, of course, we would eventually find our intended game fish species. To Ange and I, bait fish are one of the best alternate forms of structure or cover that anglers can search for. Let me explain what I mean. You can find the best looking rock pile or weed bed in the lake, but if there's no bait there, there's probably no fish there either. Simply said, fish need to eat in order to survive.
Our first introduction to chasing bait this season was on a couple of outings in the Atikokan area of Ontario, where we found bunches of big marauding smallmouth bass glued to open water schools or balls of Cisco. The way these fish attacked their prey was nothing short of spectacular. We also found the complete opposite, smallies that would hide in standing timber and every now and then head out on a hunt for food. Now, we know all of this because, thanks to LiveScope forward-viewing imagery, we saw it all unfold before our eyes. This recently introduced cutting-edge technology is a real game changer and a must for hardcore anglers.
But we also learned that not every time you encounter this open water predator-prey relationship, you're going to come up smelling like a rose. Sometimes, even though things may look good on the screen, the fish aren't necessarily in a cooperating mood.
Case in point, immediately after our Atikokan stint, in which we found the bait and caught the fish, Nick and I were confronted with almost the same fishing situation much further south.
For this shoot, Ange and Nick were based out of the beautiful Sterling Lodge situated on Newboro Lake in eastern Ontario. Newboro Lake is a well-known smallmouth bass haven that's full of bait fish, and I mean loads of bait fish.
In fact, our new lake made our northern Ontario waters pale in comparison when it comes to the amount of food available. Everywhere we looked, we found massive amounts of bait. I mean massive amounts.
Fish on. He is fighting like crazy.
There we go. Better.
Buddy.
I watched Grandpa and Pete's smallmouth shows in which they followed the bait to find and beat up on giant smallies. So I thought Grandpa and I had hit the lottery. More bait equals even better fishing, right? Well, I soon learned that's not necessarily the case.
Coming up. Oh, just a little guy.
Oh, where is he?
Get your net up. Get your net up.
There we go.
There you go.
He was just a little guy.
He hit that as soon as it went down about 10 feet. But that's not the big ones we're seeing down there, I guarantee you.
No, God, no.
Guarantee you that.
He's just hanging out with the big ones, trying to get their leftovers.
Well, these little guys are a lot feistier. In a lot of cases, they'll be scrambling to get to that pot of alewives before the big guys do.
Very nice
Obviously,
fish.
You went out on that deal? Maybe not.
Promising. Very promising.
Yep.
Fish on.
Watch the motor, buddy.
This little guy's pulling a lot of drag.
There you go. Is it one of those big ones? See some white boy, he's fighting like a big one.
He's fighting like crazy.
If he's not a big one, he's sure fighting like one. That drag might be a little too loose. There you go.
There we
It's
go.
a little, you know what? It's a fish. And he fought. He pulled your line.
He pulled me good.
Good stuff.
Thank you. Oh, he took my Senko.
Senko's
so
long
very
gone.
cool. Yeah, it's not a bad little bass. Look at him go. Great color. All right, back in you go.
At times, yes, the fishing can and will be insane. However, once a predator like a smallmouth bass has had its way cutting through what looks like millions of bait fish, well, guess what? They're full, and they pretty much shut down. It's all about timing.
He feels pretty good. Definitely something hit me though. Oh no, that's one hell of a fish there, boys.
We'll get back to Ange and Nick a little later in the program, but we also wanted to show you that smallmouth bass weren't the only bait fish-oriented predators that we filmed this year.
Pete and I fished the Missinabie area of Ontario and ended up trolling for walleye on a lake that we would have sworn was a jigging-style lake. When walleye migrate to open water areas of a lake, or at least to deep structure, you better be looking for bait fish on your fish finder because that's what they're concentrating on.
That's a good walleye, buddy. Yeah. Nice. Solid fish.
Yeah. He hit me a lot harder than he looks, though, eh?
Stocky.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
See you later, pal.
Bye-bye.
Of course, when you find an open water or deep structure walleye bite happening, there's bound to be the odd thief in there also trying to take advantage of the vast amount of bait fish available. Remember, as we said earlier, it's all about the food.
Well, that's not a bad pike, bud.
No, it's not bad at all.
He certainly wasn't going to get away. You know what? That's a decent pike. I mean,
That's decent.
it's fun, you know?
Yeah.
That's a perfect eating size pike, too, because you get some nice fillets off of them. And, you know, it's not a little snaky one. There's lots of bones in them, of course, but okay, Mr. Piker. Let's see what we can do with you.
Another walleye eating bait fish scenario happened to Steve Nizwicki and I during a Fishing Canada shoot at Pine Portage Lodge on KB Lake. We knew that KB was a jig and minnow lake. It always has been and always will be. That said, once we started to see small schools of bait fish on the fish finder, we knew that trolling the minnow baits in deeper open water would ultimately produce some nice fish.
Oh, better!
Buddy,
The way we're fishing them is so much fun.
trolling is easy.
You know, and you know what? It's not just trolling, it's back trolling, it's on the structure. We're marking them on the live scope. Look at that.
Oh, bud.
That is a beauty right there.
Woo.
Hey,
Whoa, mama.
She's ready to go.
Spit out some stuff.
She's ready to go. There we go. You go home. That's beauties. Way you go. That's the way right there.
Got one, Stevie. Fighting like a walleye. Yeah, little guy. Little troller. And we trolling these little 20 and 30 foot minnow baits. Yozuris. Sorry, guys. They get a, I don't know if I need a plier. No, I don't. Beautiful. Bait like that. Look at that. In the dark, low light, and it's still a clear bait, and they still work. He thumped it once, and then he let it go. There's a lot of big hooks out there, so this is, we weren't expecting this guy.
Believe it or not, we even had an instance this year where we found some open water largemouth that were, you guessed it, relating to bait fish as much as they were the surrounding deep rocks and weeds. A little tip here. When fishing open water largemouth, always cast to a fighting fish, just like you would a smallmouth. The trigger effect is much the same.
Thank you. Thank you, son. But my line just took off on me. I love it. That's the best bass bite ever. Your line just starts straight, ooh, as soon as it hit the bottom.
You might have found the spot, eh?
Yeah, we might be on it. I think we did find it, or one of the spots. This is a spot from a couple of years ago. There he goes. Once we get him cranked up,
Yeah,
then it's like,
now.
look,
Oh, he's off. He's off.
Oh, no way.
I lost him.
Oh, man.
A great indicator that you may be into an open water bait fish situation is if your hooked fish actually spits out or regurgitates a fish like a cisco. This is something to always be on the lookout for, especially with smallmouth bass.
There you go. Beautiful fish.
He's not a 5. I thought he was a 5, but
That is a beautiful smallmouth.
gorgeous fish, bro. Nice. He's close to 4.
Oh,
I'd say.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Look at the gut on it. Go back in. Yeehaw.
Pelagic bait fish normally live in wide open, deep stretches of water. So when you see a cisco, smelt, alewife, or shad regurgitated, start looking for balls of bait as well as predators.
Whoa. Nice. That's a good looking fish.
Nice fish,
Pull the
buddy.
drag, buddy.
As we said earlier in the episode, one of our best look for the bait trips was in northwestern Ontario near Atikokan. In fact, we shot so much that we still had some great footage yet to be seen. These fish on this trip were a perfect example of predatory fish keying in on bait fish as their main diet. Yes, they take advantage of crayfish, etc., but open water cisco were the primary ingredient.
How we looking? Nice. That's a good
Not
looking
huge,
fish.
not huge,
Oh, I think he's a nice one.
not huge. But right here at the boat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
On the twitch bait?
On the twitch again,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
the big twitch bait, right?
Yeah, that big gaudy looking one.
Oh, we're gonna have some fun out here.
Get in there.
Nice fish, buddy.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right, good start, good
Watch
start.
those hooks, they are
I know,
deadly.
that's the only problem
They're
when you're
deadly.
fishing with a multi-hook bait like this one, obviously is, especially that back hook,
And they're so sharp.
it's really, really difficult to do what we're doing, but be very careful. A little fatty.
Nice, buddy. Good work.
And he had to come in that 20 to 24 foot mark, which is straight out in front of the nose of the
Yep.
boat.
Yep, followed you in on
But
the
he followed
flat.
me all the way in, yeah. That's very cool. All right. Back you go.
Well done, brother.
This is that twitch bait I was talking about earlier on. This one actually floats. So if you stop twitching it, once you throw it out, by twitching it, you're actually causing, even though it doesn't have a lip, you're causing it to dive a little bit. And then if you stop, it'll just slowly work its way back up to the surface. And then when you start twitching, it'll drop back down again. Still with that big, loud, clanging nose, that big ball that's in the nose of these things, which is very cool. That's what drew that fish in, was the sound. We saw a bunch of them earlier on the Garmin, but they were fairly low, right?
Yep. Oh, look at him go crazy, Edge.
Hopefully somebody will see my bait. Look at them all going crazy.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh my
Stay out
God.
there. Get out there with something.
Yeah.
Anything. They got to be going for these ciscos. So threw this glide bait out and one cracked it. That's the perfect storm,
funny.
the perfect scenario. Whoa, get in here.
Come on, baby.
The net is
Come
twisting.
on.
The net is twisting on me. We broke our net. Look at.
Oh no.
Yeah, see the end of it?
Yeah.
That's a big fish.
That's a nice fish, buddy.
Easy. Easy, mama. I don't want to damage this, hurt this fish. That is so cool.
That was funny.
Big fat belly. But that was just a cool scenario, the way they came up. That was so neat seeing them on the live scope. Yeah, so I was gonna say, it's a perfect combination of using your sonar and using the proper baits, to do that. They're coming up. We saw the fish, 6 of them, moving up towards the surface. Didn't see the school of bait. We know this bait works about a foot down from the surface, 2 feet down from the surface. It's like the perfect storm. And it all worked out. Most times it doesn't work out, but that right there worked out so nice. Whoa! I'm gonna get him in the net. I'm not gonna cast out for him.
There you go.
Scope team.
Fighter, eh? For
My
a small
God, that's
fish.
a tough fish. His lip, has he been caught before? Is it?
That's the way you want to get them right there.
That's exactly.
Boy, when they get pinned, they get pinned. But unfortunately, a lot of times this doesn't happen.
Many of them
Yeah.
are pinless.
And one more. Bingo. The wee fella. Now that was in 22 feet of
Look
water.
at the belly. though.
Yeah, he's
Just
full. Just feeding up on those big schools of whatever it is they're feeding on. We're not quite sure. We haven't seen any of it. We've seen the schools on the Garmin, but haven't seen the actual fish as of yet. In you go.
Ange and Nick's hotspot is located on beautiful Newboro Lake. The waypoint on your screen gets you there. This is a typical deep, open water area where predators like smallmouth bass will school up and feed on pelagic baitfish. Looking at a good detailed contour map, you'll see it almost looks like a deep trench. We've learned through time that these trench-like structures can be baitfish magnets, thus drawing in big predator fish. Although this doesn't look like your typical smallmouth bass area, remember, it's all about the food source. Find the bait and find the fish. For more hotspots like this one, check out fishingcanada.com.
Got one on up there?
Fish, boys.
Oh, it's a nice
size.
smallmouth.
Yeah. I lied when I said I don't think he's a very big one.
For the most part, you see us using traditional smallmouth presentations like jigs, that's tubes, Ned rigs, etc., as well as drop shotting. However, when the fish turn off those presentations, a killer technique that's not talked about a lot is a Carolina rig. This bottom contacting presentation with a steady stop and go retrieve could fool these bait blasting smallies into thinking one of their buddies injured a bait fish from above and it slowly receded to the bottom.
Woohoo!
Nice fish,
Pull the
buddy.
drag, buddy.
That was a nice fish.
Coming up.
Coming
Oh,
up
turn
again.
down. Coming up and turn down.
Nice. Let me extend that net for you.
Whoa. Easy, girlfriend. What is going on? This fish?
That's funny.
He is tough. Holy. This is not a giant fish. It's just,
It's a good sized fish. That's a bigger fish than you think.
he must be.
It's got to be. Some of them are just so much tougher than others.
Yeah. There's the, there he is. See, he's not that giant. He's
Not huge.
He's nice.
Nice, yeah.
He's
He's
tough
caught
as
on the
nails.
side, I think, isn't he?
No, right
No,
on.
no, he's caught right where he's supposed to be caught.
Oh, he's a pretty good one, though. I gotta
Nice,
say.
Nice,
Oh, boy. Angie, he's got some weight to him.
nice.
He's a block. I thought he was a 3-pounder.
Long fish too, eh?
Wow. I lost my bait. I can't even show you what I got him on.
No, I was hoping to get a peek. You put him on while you were standing behind the tree this morning when you tied that up.
Carolina rig. We're doing everything we can to get these fish on the bottom now. I mean, you can see them sometimes schooling up, and then all of a sudden they get down deep, and you got to try and figure them out.
That's funny.
So there's a Carolina rig, basically. There's a simple little hook, offset hook, heavy duty weight right there, and it slides up and down, and can be very effective at times.
Getting back to Ange and Nick's open water, bait-oriented smallie fishing, you can see how all these pieces of the puzzle kind of fit together. Even though their bite is not on fire like our northern stint was, Ange teaching Nick how to interpret the Garmin electronics is a lesson that not many kids get, and shows Nick there are sneaky ways to catch negative fish. You just have to find what they're eating.
Got one on up there?
Fish, boys. Oh, he's
Watch the trolling motor.
going by the trolling motor. Okay, come on.
Little smallie, little smallie.
Out. All right, in you go.
I shouldn't have netted that for you. That's small.
Oh, that's okay. It's a fun time.
On the old drop shot. Look at you.
got him.
Got him?
Yep. All right. Gonna need to put another worm and weight. Lost both.
He took both, did he?
Took both. Nice little fish. Little fishy poo. Ain't that something? Time to go. Time to go. Bye-bye. Nice.
Oh, it's a
decent
nice
size, yeah.
Don't lift him.
I'm not lifting it.
Yes, you were.
Whoa!
Nice fish,
I
buddy.
lied when I said I don't think he's a very big one.
He smacked you good.
Oh, he smacked me. Oh, yeah, he took that like he meant it.
Okay, pick that baby up. Hold on to that baby. Nice. Nicely done.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Destroyed the Fanatic.
Oh yeah, I guess you need a new one, huh?
Look at that.
Nice. That was right that big school that we just saw.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
we've been hunting that school
Yeah.
and casting to it,
It's still there.
into it, and then like we can see these monsters just attacking these balls of bait. Back you go.
Well, Fishing Canada fans, there you have it. Our latest dive into the open water forage that predator fish feed on. As we said early in the episode, fish do two things during a season. They normally spawn once, and they eat the remainder of the year. We highly recommend you get out there and take advantage of this effective and often overlooked pattern. To get to today's smallmouth bass fishing, Ange and Nick drove east on Highway 401 to exit 617 at Division Street, Route 10 in Kingston. They traveled north on 10 and then turned right onto Hutchings Road. They next turned right at the end of Hutchings Road onto Road 42. From there, they finally turned right into Sterling Lodge as they entered the town of Newboro. Located in the heart of the Reno Lakes, excellent bass and pike fishing have brought fishermen to Sterling Lodge for over 120 years. Their facilities are capable of handling groups both large and small. There are a variety of accommodation types to suit all needs. After a long day of hardcore fishing, you can cool off in their outdoor pool. They have a fully licensed dining room, which serves 3 meals a day for those who decide to book their American plan, as well as an English-style pub, which is a great place to relax in the evenings and swap tales of the day with fellow fishermen.
The Fishin' Canada Show, brought to you in part by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Princecraft Boats, dominate the waters. Garmin, plot your paradise, reel 'em in. And Ontario, Canada, in partnership with Destination Ontario.
Closed captioning for this episode is brought to you by FishingCanada.com, the gateway to your next fishing adventure.